Hey Harmonizers, welcome to day 2 with the Mustangs. On today's video, my goal is to practice approaching the horses without them running away. I'm not really focusing on the bay horse because he's so scared that it's a little bit overwhelming for him. So if he looks at me, I'll drop him a little bit of grass, but otherwise I'm focusing my attention on the roan with the hopes that the bay gelding will kind of see my presence in a more positive way and less threatening just by me being in here. So I'm not gonna share the entire video because it's very long and would be very repetitive and a little bit boring. So instead I'm gonna share with you kind of a clip at the beginning, a clip kind of towards the middle, and then towards the end so you can kind of see the progression and what we've been working on. So hope you guys enjoy it.
All right, so here we go into the paddock, and I didn't have anybody to film with me at this point, so we are using our friend the post to film the camera. So I apologize that you won't always be able to see everything, but basically what I'm doing is going out and I'm not focusing on the horses whatsoever, and I'm just picking some grass. We're using grass as positive reinforcement, and you can see my little roan is coming over to me because we've kind of established that this is a good thing and that this is kind of what we do is I pick grass and he gets to have some grass. So this is fantastic because my goal is going to be me approaching him, but this is great that he sees me and he associates it with something positive and is coming over. So this is fantastic and looking really good. So what I want to start to do is start to progress a little bit in terms of me being able to ask him to touch my hand and being able to start to touch him a little bit. So if I stay with just always giving him grass and not really doing anything with that, then what's going to happen is that's all he's going to expect, and then it might throw him off if I start to want to touch him and things like that. So I don't want to get stuck in only feeding him grass. I want to start to be progressive and start to ask for a little bit more. So you can see I'm holding the grass a little closer to my body, so he has to come a little closer, and you can see I brought my hand up there. And whenever he goes to get a fly or something from his knee, I don't make a big deal over it. He's allowed to move away from me. And I'm breaking off the grass into little pieces, and sometimes I'm just giving it to him, and then sometimes I'm kind of reaching out my hand and making a motion to ask him to touch like I am there, where he touches with his nose, and then I'm offering him the positive reinforcement. And then it's actually kind of a good thing me bending over to get the grass and crawling through the fence, because he's then getting used to my body kind of switching angles and views from his standpoint. So he is kind of, I was on the left side of him a little bit, and now I'm on the right side of him, and I was standing upright, and now I'm bending over. And sometimes that stuff can kind of scare horses that aren't tamed or gentled if they don't know what you're doing. So this is good that he's kind of getting used to me moving back and forth a little bit. So you can see I'm asking him to do little hand touches, and then I'm offering him the positive reinforcement. And he's picking that up pretty quickly, which is really fantastic. So then I'm trying to see, could he follow my hand touch a little lower to a different spot? There he's got a little fly that he wanted to get after. And there he goes. He touches my hand. So that's really good. So when I was asking him first, horses are not machines, so I can't expect him to do it right away. And he needs time to be able to think about it. And the whole scheme of things, that was only a few seconds, but sometimes in the moment it can feel a lot longer, and people I find are very rushed to want to move on to try something else to get the horse's attention, or, oh, it's not working immediately, so then they want to do something else. And really, the best thing for the horse is just to be patient and be consistent and allow them the time to learn. The same way that if you were learning a new language, or if you were reading and you came across a difficult word, you would need time to sound that out. So here he ends up kind of walking away from me, and I don't take it personally. I just allow him to walk away, and I end up changing the camera angle to a different spot in the paddock because I realized that where I was going to be working with him, you wouldn't be able to see. So there, I spooked the bay horse by accident, and he actually crashed into my roan horse and really hurt his jaw. So I don't know if you could hear that smack. That's why I left the audio on the video there. But that's just I left that there because I wanted you to see just how scared that bay horse really is. I felt really bad for my roan horse that he clocked him like right in the face with his face. So the poor little guy. And so I didn't end up picking a great camera angle for you guys here. And but I wanted to show you as I'm walking down, like they're kind of running away a little bit. Of course, the bay is kind of leading the parade away from me for the most part. And then you'll notice that the bay always puts himself on the furthest side from me. And this is just me like looking at the horses. So they kind of do a few of these kind of moving around. And you notice my body language is very nonchalant, very passive. So then what I do is somebody actually came to the farm and was able to film for me a little bit. So now you guys can actually, see what I'm up to. So I'll just show you a little bit more of the stuff we were working on. So we're back to the me picking the grass part and my roan's curious and coming over to me as I start to get some big handfuls there. And this is actually good for the bay horse where I'm relatively close to the bay horse and he's not running away. But of course, he's got to put the roan in the danger zone between both of us. He definitely wants the roan to be eaten before he is. So not the end of the world though. And if you're wondering why I'm not working with the bay horse, it's because anytime I go to pick grass or start to work with the horses, my roan comes over. And because the relationship is so new with this roan Mustang, I'm not gonna shoo him away and say, no, like you have to go away. I'm not gonna give you any attention because I'm trying to do the bay horse. He wouldn't understand that, and it would probably just be detrimental to my relationship with the roan. So instead, my strategy is to get this roan tamed and trained that I can take it out of the pen and separate them. And then I will focus on the bay horse when my roan is not around. Just so that way I don't have to send my roan horse away. So my goal is to be able to approach the horses and not have them be worried and kind of skitter off and whatnot. So here I've got somebody filming for me so you can kind of take a look and see how we're doing. So it's great if the horse comes and approaches me, and I'll kind of wait a little bit and allow them the opportunity to do that. But it's also really important that I can approach my horse and that they're not intimidated by my drive line. So you can see I'm kind of coming in on a little bit of an angle there, and that's so that way my body language is less intimidating. If you're not sure what drive lines or quadrants are, then I encourage you to check out the free video on passive leadership. That's part of the free video series on the Harmony Horsemanship website. So if you go to harmonyhorsemanship.ca and you click the free resources button or you click the become a student button, it will take you to the free video series as an option, and the passive leadership video is one of those. So here you can see we're making good progress with me being able to approach him and not have him run away. And what's also really good about this is even though I'm not working directly with the bay horse, when I first started doing this kind of stuff, the bay horse would be so scared that he would run away, and that would cause my roan to run away as well. So this is really good that he's able to handle that. So I'm just going to show you guys one more different approach and show you so that way I can approach him on both the left and the right side, which is important that I'm not creating a one-sided horse. So you can see he kind of looks at me and I kind of pause, and then I allow him a reward for basically me coming over. So instead of doing the reward is in the release, where when the horse is kind of doing what you want, you kind of stop and back off, I actually come forward and give the reward of the grass. So that way I can be the reward rather than the reward being me leaving him, because that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. So I hope you guys found this interesting, and this kind of wraps up our session on being able to approach the horses. And definitely comment, let me know what you think. And I will be in touch with more Mustang training, so subscribe, and I will see you next time.